Oh, wow. Wow. What a 2020 season. It's crazy. What a year. What a crazy year. I mean, what a crazy year and what a beautiful season for all the craziness that's going on outside of football. What a year. You couldn't, I mean, you couldn't have imagined this team was going to, given all the stuff that they were up against, no camps, no this, no that, and that matters just as much to veteran teams as it does to rookie teams. The best regular season in franchise history, offensively, across the board, tied for record and wins. The most scoring in team history was 515 points. Record passing across the board, passing yards for a season, completion percentage, touchdowns, attempts, a complete, you name it. It just, what a great season, Josh Allen. I mean, you can't say enough about this team, about what they've done from just Bean and McDermott coming in from day one and just reshaping this team. Um, every move that they made was towards one end, is to winning and getting to the team to where they are right now. And they're just, wow. They went out there today against a team that needed to go and play their best to win, to get in. You know, a team in the division with a rookie quarterback that's coming in, and you don't want to give them a leg up. You don't want to give them that upstart. Well, they went in and beat the Bills in a must win, and it just kind of gives them that psychological relief, that edge, and the Bills just, they started off slow. They looked sluggish, they looked lethargic, and all of a sudden, just the Bills just snapped out of it, and Allen just went nuts in the second quarter. It's like 200 and plus 224 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had the one interception early. He gets the record by a lot. He didn't just get the record; he crushed the record. Um, just, what a game! What a game! It was just. I mean, I can't imagine being able to watch what we watched this season. The defense has really, rounded into shape. There was a lot of friends and family yards for Miami at the end. You get caught up in the euphoria of winning so big. The Bills made Tua look very, very bad. They did not have Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I told a lot of people was going to play a psychological game on them. They weren't going to be able. I don't think that they were able to recover from knowing that Fitz wasn't going to be there. And once the Bills got up by 20 plus mid third, they backed off. They just backed off and said Miami can have all these underneath yards. They can have all these friends and family yards, and they can dink and dunk their way down the field. And man, it just, the Bills, again, they put up 56 points with Josh Allen only playing for like a half of football and Trey White not playing. And man, what a season, what a game. I mean, I've set all the records. Allen finishes the year with 572 attempts, 396 completions, 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks, 69.2% completion, 170.1 quarterback rating. The team went ape shit in terms of, it just the first time they scored 50 plus points in so wait against KC. The first 500 point plus point season in franchise history. They shattered the 91 record by a lot. Unbelievable performance. What can you say? What can you say? It was amazing. What an amazing season, guys. I'm so glad that I was here to share this with you, and we have so much more to go. It looks like it's going to be the Colts at Buffalo next week. And if I would have told you, we're going to see the best regular season in franchise history. Every major passing record in the franchise for a season is going to be broken. and there's going to be no fans in the stands. There's going to be no bye week. If I would have told you that, it would have been like, you're insane, you're crazy. But yeah, that's what we watched in 2020. And I've said this every video, and I'll continue to say it. My God, if that stadium would have had fans in it, that place would have been packed out today. And they would have went nuts. The Bills could have shut it down at the end of the game, but they just kept going. I mean, you could, across the board, Isaiah McKenzie, just what an underrated player. I mean, he's broken out of that gadget mold and just really had a punt return for a touchdown today. 2 early touchdowns catching, just getting open underneath. Then he got open over the top. Diggs doing what he does. John Brown comes back today, catches a touchdown pass from Allen. Gabe Davis, just what a rookie season. 599 yards receiving, 7 receiving touchdowns. Again, everything that we've seen. 40 total passing touchdowns, broke the 91 record. 39. Kelly threw 33, Reich threw 6. This year it was Allen with 33. Barkley had 1. Beasley had 1, and McKenzie had 1. Again, they just went out there and had a day that was just amazing, just an amazing day, and a day that just, it shows the rest of the league. It cements their place. You see the power rankings, you see all the accolades, and that just further drives it home that they're not messing around, they're not fucking around. Deion Dawkins was just doing a press conference, and he says, we're not the same old Bills anymore. We play to kill, and you can't deny that. Their last, how many wins have been by double digits? They're a Hail Mary away from winning 10 straight games. They had the one hiccup that we've talked about with the schedule changing and the 2 weeks with the Titans and the Chiefs, but that seems like a lifetime ago, the way this team has just turned it around. I mean, even the game after the Hail Mary, they messed around in the second half and turned over the ball 3 times and still won by 10. What a game. I mean, I can't believe, just every week they come out and they just kind of just reset the bar. The level of play goes up. The level of expectations from the fan base goes up. Their expectations of themselves go up. It's the team that we've always wanted. It's the team that we've called for so long. The kind of quarterback play that we've all wanted, we've screamed for. We wouldn't settle for less. We didn't sit there and hang out with Tyrod. We didn't hear the bullshit. We didn't drink the Kool-Aid about how you can win with this guy. The Fitzmagic shit, all that stuff. We knew what we wanted. We wanted more, and we wanted, this. And now it looks like, pretty much 17-0 Colts. It's going to be the Colts, Old Man Rivers coming to the stadium, the former backup quarterback Frank Reich coming into Buffalo with his team. Damager, the best regular season in franchise history. The first time in franchise history the Bills have swept a division. Remember, this division used to be 5 teams. Used to have the Colts in it. Now it's the 4 teams, but it's the first time the Bills have ever swept a division. 6-0 in the division. And just a clear benchmark, just a cement stamping going forward about whose division this is. This is not a joke. This isn't, this isn't the 08, the 09, 2010 Jets little season. This isn't the, the Chad Pennington Wildcat 08 Dolphins. This is, the Bills making the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years with the same head coach, good talent, and he can be a rookie, but he looks bad, man. that kid's just not seeing things. I mean, he had a better second half when he started throwing the ball downfield, but it's just, again, something's missing. Something's missing. I don't know what it is, but I don't know how much of a defensive game plan the Bills threw out at him. And I just don't think, and think about the teams that were around him, of course. But Allen wasn't benched twice in 1 year. I just again, I'm not seeing. I don't feel bad. I'm not sitting around rooting for Miami to be great. Like that's just me. I'm not sitting around saying, "Oh wow, I hope Darnold pans out." Like, nah, fuck that. I don't hope he doesn't pan out. That's just. That's you think Jet fans and Patriot fans and Dolphin fans sit around rooting for Allen? You think they like watching this? You think they like saying like, "Holy shit," like, "Oh my God," like, what a great story in Buffalo, Allen. Look how great he's doing. Well, no, they're like, "Oh fuck, we got to play this guy." The Bills found their quarterback. They found their franchise quarterback. They hit on him. They got the right guy. That's what, dude. You should have heard the calls. You should hear the calls to WFAN in New York, the ESPN radio station where Don LaGreca, I forget the ESPN one where it's Don LaGreca and Michael Kay, the calls that they get from Giant fans, from Jet fans saying, "Man, the Giants should have drafted Josh Allen instead of Saquon Barkley." What the fuck were they thinking? The Jet fans, "Oh my God, they passed on Allen. They passed on Allen. They took Darnold. What a mess." Maybe. The Dolphins are drafting 3rd overall. I don't know what they do. Do they stay with Tua? But that's their problem, man. That's their problem. He just, ever since that drop by Charles Clay, what an easy touchdown for Aaron Rodgers. Wow. He's destroyed them. He's destroyed them. If Clay catches that ball, what is he? He's 0-6. He's 6-0 against the Dolphins because that last game of that year, he destroyed them. But what a year. I've laid out all the numbers. I mean, the games that we've watched in the last 9 weeks, the way this team has played, it just keeps getting better and better. The 56 points today, they scored in all 3 phases: special teams, defense, and offense, deep balls, runs. I could just go over the names. Antonio Williams coming off the practice squad and just ran violent. He ran angry. It looks like a guy. I mean, it's one of the biggest reasons I say don't draft running backs. If you do, draft them low, because you can get a guy like this who can come off the bench, caught a 20-yard pass, just ran hard between the tackles, violent, broke tackles. Yeah, that's right, Damager. It's like, that's too bad for you. Sucks to be you. It was encouraging to see John Brown come back this week. He looked like his old self. He got deep. There was no hesitation. Who did he burn on the touchdown? Was it Byron Jones? He burned one of their top corners on that touchdown from Allen. Allen gave a shoulder fake to the safety to hold him, and then Brown already got even with his DB, and it was an easy touchdown. Just their whole team, just another piece to have. And without Beasley, without Brown, get all these pieces back, and you're just ready to roll. Gabe Davis, just so underrated. 2 catches for 107 yards and a long touchdown. I felt like Knox was open a couple of times. Barkley missed him on a couple of throws. There was one where if he would have caught it, he would have just ran. The first deep ball Allen threw was to Knox, and I felt if Knox would have kept running, maybe there's a little bit off that ball. That's a long touchdown. But man, what a game. What a game. I mean, from whistle to whistle, they didn't go out there and fight. They just went out there and just, and they started off slow. They had the turnover. The Dolphins go up 3-0, and that's it. And then the Bills just kind of like, they get a stop. They punt a couple of times, and then they just go nuts. And they just turn it on, and just the water doesn't stop. It's just a beatdown of epic proportions. Like I can sit here and just go on and on about this team, the way they've played. No field goals today, guys. What, 8 touchdowns? Was it 8 touchdowns? 35, 8 touchdowns today. 8 touchdowns. Unbelievable. 2 defensive, 6 offensive. Just this is more like a season review video, maybe. Allen's play again has been everything. It just, I mean, what Milano looked great today. The Bills looked like they avoided any injuries, which was huge. Early in the game, we had a couple of scares when Taron Johnson went down. Oh my God, when Stephon Diggs was picking himself off the field slow. I was so sick, I almost vomited, but then he got up. Colts, Luke. I'd rather play the Colts. So yeah, there was some nervous moments, but it looks like everybody came through okay. And man, I mean, even some of the punts by Bojorquez were amazing. The coffin corner that backed them up. Bills got the ball back. I believe they scored on that drive. They had half a field, less than half a field, and they scored. I believe they did. It was a 1-2-3 drive. They went down there really, really fast and scored on the first touchdown to McKenzie. Then it was like floodgates. Once the floodgates opened, Diggs' year, I mean, in terms of yards, in terms of catches, it just, you can't say. It's just been amazing. And they have to, you have to credit this team. I mean, you think that teams are looking forward to playing Buffalo right now. I mean, we have to face it. Teams are not looking forward to playing the Bills right now. Whether it's the Colts, whether it's the Titans. I mean, granted, they beat the Bills, but in that whole crazy rescheduling, but teams are not looking forward to playing the Bills. That's for sure. I don't think that, anybody's like, hey, we can beat this Bills team. Like, yeah, good luck. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Ever since, the Bills are supposed to be just an also-ran, just a team, they're a nice team. They'll get you a 9-7. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll get 11-5 and they'll get in. Nope. They went out there. They didn't just win. They curb stomped teams. And they played with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and they just look like they're having fun. They played loose. You saw Miami, there was just a tightness to them. There was a stiffness that they knew if they got down that the quarterback was going to have to lead them back, and he just wasn't up to it today. I mean, there was one slip on the interception, pick six to Josh Norman, but some of those other interceptions, him just trying to make too much of things that weren't there. Again, they scored 56 points with only one half from Allen, and Trey White didn't play at all today. Their two main defensive ends, Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes, didn't play at all today. Miami had to unload the tank and lay it all on the line, and they just couldn't do it. I don't know, because Fitz is capable of having 3 interceptions. I mean, everybody thinks Fitz is a guaranteed win. I see some Dolphin fans on Twitter talking about if Fitz this, if Fitz that. I'm like, Fitz is 30 games under 500 as a starter. What are you talking about? I think Bills fans know Fitzpatrick just as much, if not more, than Dolphin fans. The whole ethos and myth around Ryan Fitzpatrick is nice and cute, Fitzmagic, but Fitzmagic is just that. He's Houdini. He appears. He has a game, and it's like, oh, shit, look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, so easy to root for. Mr. Harvard, 7th-round pick. And then he has next week where it's like, oh, he throws 3 interceptions, or he throws a game-sealing interception and just kills you. And it's like, oh, shit, yeah, there's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's Houdini. 1 minute he's there, 1 minute he's not. So I don't want to hear about, like, people want to talk about it. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, Fitz is there. The rookie quarterback gets pulled for a 3rd time in the season. That's great to go into the offseason with. That's a great headline Miami's not going to make the playoffs. They're 10-6, and they're drafting 3rd overall, and their rookie quarterback's would have been pulled for 3 times. And so there you have it. I mean, Fitzpatrick played against the Bills early in the season, threw for 300 yards, didn't throw for a touchdown, and the Bills beat him. We have a quarterback that threw for 404 touchdowns. That's the point, is the Bills have a quarterback that is better, more talented than Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Bills' defense is really good now. It's the same defense we watched for the last 3 seasons. It's not the defense we watched early in this year. I don't know, but that was fun, Eric. Like you said, I'm happy. Also, Luke, we escaped with no injuries. I just feel like people are just a little too quick to say Fitz would have done this or done that. Yeah, maybe he keeps the game a little bit better, but he has nothing to do with a receiver slipping. He still, if he throws that ball, I think it's just a mild knee tweak, and they just kept him out for this week. But there's so much to talk about, with the Bills in terms of Kenny Stills is gonna be a Bill probably by tomorrow, if not later on tonight. J.J. Nelson was brought in, Gary Jennings. I think those are more for next year. Those are more for next year, guys that they want to get a look at during the offseason, program and throw with and have around, because they're going to have to make some moves to free up some money to keep some guys. But man, this is a fun time to be a Bills fan. This is a great time. You guys have seen a season. We've watched a season like no other season in Bills history, from an offensive standpoint, from a record standpoint, a quarterback play standpoint. This wasn't the Bears 0-1 13-3, where they had a bunch of interceptions and return touchdowns and just bounces of the ball that were lucky, and you had a quarterback room like Shane Matthews and Jim Miller. No, the Bills are led by a true stud, a guy who's capable of taking the game and just winning the game by himself. And it's insane. Yeah, Bowman, it's crazy. It sucks that they can't have the bye week, but it's also, you want to keep this momentum going, and maybe a bye week curtails that a little bit. Maybe a bye week kind of like slows them down, but you do want to get guys healthy. I mean, they rested a handful of guys, and there was a lot of guys, let's be honest, that were just out of that game by halftime. Poyer and Hyde were not in the game after like the first drive, Miami in the third quarter. I saw a lot of Tyler Minikevich, Andre Smith. I just saw a lot of backups in there. The bulk of the team, legit MVP, not a journeyman backup. It's because you've never seen it, Trevor. Trevor is like, you've never seen this. You have nervous energy because you've never seen this. You don't know, like a lot of you younger Bills fans, I don't know if you were conditioned to be ready to see this. Wow, we saw this from a Bills team. Holy shit. I mean, I wish we had a bye, but I'm also like, let's just keep the momentum going. So it's a double-edged sword for me. It really is. Because I get the value of it. I get the value of waiting, and you get to see who you play, and you earned it. I mean, this team is, legit 14-2, but they're 13-3. But still, like, if I would have told you after that Hail Murray, they're not going to lose another game, and their last like 6-7 games, they're just going to beat teams by double digits. No. Yeah, I think their last, I think it was more. I think they beat everybody by double digits. I'm pretty sure. Let me see, because that's a scary stat if they did. If they beat everybody they've played by double digits since the Hail Murray, yep, they've beaten everybody by at least 10 since the Hail Murray. Everybody by 10. They've just completely crushed teams in terms of their scoring differential. Went through the roof today. It was at 500. Let me do the whole thing. 56. That's just insane. Their scoring differential went through the roof. Wow. 445 this year, so 501 points. Never had that happen. So 501. They outscored teams by over 100. Scoring differential wasn't the best in franchise history, but it was, you know, in this day and age in the NFL, the way offenses can score, the rules, still insane. Because I know there was at one point this year they were only up, you know, like they were very, like they were below 50 points in scoring differential. So their team is completely different now. Even though they're the same group of guys, the level of play is just going through the roof. And again, I don't know what kind of game, we don't know what kind of game plan they put out there. Maybe they put out just a shell of a game plan, because you know what, we might play this team next week at home. We don't want to give them everything to look at, so let's just, you know, nice little, just a very simple shell of a game plan. Let's just be very vanilla. But it didn't matter, man. It did not matter. He had damager. No one's ever seen this. Let's be honest. Yep. Wow. All the fake Bills fans are coming, guys. Just warning you, the fake Bills fans are here. The fake Bills fans are coming. Mr. Matt, been watching since '85, so yeah, it's amazing. Again, Bills. I mean, yeah, it's like the it is like the, you know, the late '80s, '90s Bills. It is like that. It's just different because this team is so young. Those guys, remember, you know, Talley was there since '83. Reed was there since '85. Bruce was there since '85. Kelly was a 26-year-old rookie who had, you know, didn't come into the Bills right away. So Allen is only 24. So, yeah, that was Bledsoe's record. Bledsoe's 0-2 record. Kelly's never threw for 4,000 yards in a season. Most he ever threw for a season was 3,800, 3,844. If I believe off the top of my head, that's the most he's ever thrown in a season. It's easy to get to not remember some of these numbers because we haven't seen great quarterback play at all. But what a season, guys. I mean, wow. What a season. So we can play. It looks like it's going to be the Colts right now. The way the score is going, they're up 17-0 at home versus Jacksonville. I think they just turned Jacksonville over. They're starting at the 50 from what I'm looking at here. So yeah, I think it's pretty much done and over with it, that they're going to play the Colts at home next week from what I'm looking at here. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, you gotta have been saving something for the playoffs. You know, you have to be saving something. Yeah, Eric, you've been waiting your whole life. Now you got it. You know, you deserve it, because there's a lot of Bills fans who've wanted to see something like this again, some semblance of this again, like myself, like some of the older Bills fans, and some of the younger ones who've never seen anything like this, who've watched other teams have seasons like this that have been led by great quarterbacks, and they get spoiled, and then we are like, when is our turn? Now this is our turn. This is our time. This isn't the 2009, 2010 Jets where Mark Sanchez was nowhere, not even a tenth of the level of what Josh Allen has been this year. People have been talking about, enjoy your 2017 Carson Wentz season. And if you remember back at that season in 2017, Wentz had several games, even though before he got injured, where he was below 50% completion. His highest completion percentage that year was 70. He had like 8 games. What am I looking at here? He had 7 games where he threw below 60%. If you put them side by side, it's not even close. I mean, in terms of what Allen did this year compared to what Wentz did that year. Allen's had 2 games below 60% completion. That is it. One in Pittsburgh, which was a win, and then the KC game, which I feel like was his worst game of the year, was the KC game. That was the one game where I thought that was 2010 Josh Allen. But outside of that, he's been phenomenal. That year, Wentz only had 3 400-yard games. The Bills in total have 9 300-yard plus passing games, 8 by Allen, a franchise record. They don't know yet, Rick. They'll know the opponent. They're going to have the playoff schedule later. Once the 8 o'clock game is over, the playoff schedule will come out. So we'll all know by 11:30 tonight. Once the Washington Eagles game is over, we'll know who the Bills are playing. Maybe earlier, I don't know, but I think that the league will want to put it all out later in terms of the scheduling. Yeah, they're delusional. There's a lot of delusional fans. I mean, there's people out there that are going to naysay and stuff like that. And, I put his career numbers up on Twitter, his season numbers. I put his whole season up from a passing standpoint, rushing and receiving. And I put an FU to Nick Wright and Kai Fahey and the too many to list. I was like, okay, now all you can go fuck yourselves. Enjoy looking like assholes, do idiots trying to hate on this kid. Again, I felt like he was just fucking around today, and he threw for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. I mean, oh my God, that would have been a whole game for a Bills quarterback, and a good one. 2, 3. It would have been a good game for Allen last year. I just feel like he was just fucking around. Yeah, he's done. Eric, if he's not and I've not heard his name. How is he not a Coach of the Year candidate? I've heard Stefanski, which I understand with Cleveland and everything, but they have a lot of talent. They have a first overall quarterback. They have a top receiver. They have 2 great running backs. It's not like the cupboard is bare there. They have like one of the most expensive offensive lines in football. They have a premier pass rusher. They have like a cornerback that they drafted in the top 5. So what? You look at Miami and you look at the situation. You look at the situation. Oh, please, if you have that clip, Bowman, can you put it in the room, please? If he says that on tape, can you put that in the room, please? I don't. I just see what happened with Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick should have never been benched. But that's their fault. Don't feel. This is another thing, Bills fans. Don't think like, oh man, we shouldn't get cocky and this and that. You know what? You deserve it. You deserve it. How long have we had to play bitch to other teams' fan bases and to other teams? Either in the hunt, hoping for other teams to winning, but it wasn't convincing. Winning, but it was just kind of like, they got away with something. They had to have some breaks happen. No, you should go out there, hold your head high, and be like, you know what? We've bowed our head for too long, and now this is our time. This is our time. This is the Bills' time. And if you can't handle that, too bad for you. Sucks to be you. Because I hated that narrative for so long. The Bills just should be happy to be in the league. Happy to be in the league. Oh, how cute the Bills are. Oh, aren't the Bills so easy? Like some of that patronizing shit was happening after the Steelers game. No, motherfuckers, this team's for real. This organization's for real. This team is for real. And this quarterback is for real. And we arguably have the best fan base in the NFL. And I don't want to hear, they'll talk about the other fan bases. This fan base has suffered like no other fan base. Sans Cleveland losing a team. You can't compare to that losing a team. But we had the threat of the Bills leaving over our heads, held right there. Ever since that Toronto series started, it was held right above our heads. From 2008 all the way to 2013. And we suffered through a lot of shit, so we deserve this. That's exactly what Boomer Esiason said. That advanced roofing week after week 3 was it week 3 of this season? I heard him on WFAN in the morning. He said, you know, they were talking about Darnold's struggles, and then you look at Josh Allen, he's the unquestioned heartbeat of the Buffalo Bills. And I played that clip in here, and it's the truth. You know, it's the 100% truth. Yeah, that would have been it for a lot of us, but it didn't happen, man. They're Buffalo for life. That's it. So we never had to endure that, man. What's up, Chris? We used to celebrate first downs. That now, you know, now it's Super Bowl or bust. It's exactly AFC champion, sweeping the division. The bar has been raised. So don't be shy about being a Bills fan. And if somebody wants to try to say you're a bandwagon fan, rip their asses. Rip their asses, because ain't nobody in here a bandwagon Bills fan. Nobody. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a Bills fan. Just like I'm sure anybody who truly knows you were wearing your Bills stuff during the drought, the lean years, and the years where we had no quarterback, no established coach, no anything. We would sit in here for over a decade, 15 plus years, and talk about 17 years. Who's the quarterback? Who's the coach? What are we going to do? How are we going to get a quarterback? This game was nice, but man, how are we going to compete with, you know, the Patriots, this, that? Oh, Miami got Tannehill. He had a nice season. Then he sucked. Oh, wow, the Jets are upstart, and then they sucked. So, but the Bills never even got a little whiff of that. But now we have something really tangible. No team has had a season like the Bills have had, other than the Patriots in the division. You know, there's been a couple of 11-5s by other teams, but nothing like this. You know, and I'm running out of things to talk about in terms of positives, but it's so much. You know, it's so much to get over 500 points for the first time in franchise history, to break all the passing records for a season the way he did. I mean, just methodically. What a just wow. Wow. 17 years for living for the draft positions, like Eric says, just hoping, keeping our fingers crossed. Maybe they might run into a quarterback in the late rounds, or just not drafting quarterbacks at all, hoping you get a scrap heap guy and he becomes something. I mean, I used to get ripped in high school 10 plus years ago for being the only Bills fan. Well, look, dude, I don't care if it's from Walmart. I don't care if it's from, you know what? That's bullshit, Marshall, because I'm not saying you're bullshit, but they sell like jerseys for the Jets and Giants at Walmart here. They're kind of like the lesser brand, but it's NFL stuff. I've seen it myself. It's NFL affiliated stuff. So don't be shy at all. It won't let me put the link in the room, Bowman. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to press show. It's hiding it. But apparently that's the clip of Nick Wright. If you can put it on Twitter, I'm Vicious155 at Twitter. Maybe I can do it, because I run the room. I got to make some moderators for this room. That's for sure. They talked about Allen like they did Tebow. And you should, man. Eric, I remember the last time I was in school, and the last time the Bills were in the Super Bowl, I wore the AFC Championship shirt the next day after they lost to the Cowboys in that Super Bowl. And everybody talked shit about me. That, you know, they kind of like, you know, I had a lot of people say, oh, he's got balls, he's wearing that shirt. And then I had a lot of other people, you know, try to like talk shit. I'm like, look, I'll be a Bills fan in the grave. You guys will have attached yourself to so many different teams. You won't. Look at the Cowboys today. Look at them today. 6-10. Have fun with that. Got to pay that quarterback. Have fun with that. Got to cut half that team to pay the quarterback. Have fun with that. My wife gave up on the Bills back when she was just like, look at her, dude. She better join back up, man. There's room. Tell her it's early. She's with you, so she's already got a spot. You know, you're good. Yeah, Hussein, that kid Williams, man. He looked like he looked angry. I loved how angry he ran. The first run he had was so violent, and then the touchdown run, even just some of the short yardage, like I liked the way he ran. I mean, that's what I mean about this team. You look at a guy, like I was writing some names down, and you look at guys like Dane Jackson, it's a practice squad guy. You look at guys like that come in, maybe like Kenny Stills, who might help this team down the road, or maybe next week, who knows? J.J. Nelson, who has NFL experience. You getting John Brown back. Darren Lee's a former first-round pick who's been on the practice squad, who's just, you know, kind of sitting there. Maybe he helps this team next year. And you just, you know, even the offensive line, Ryan Bates, we know he can play, and he's a backup. It just, the list goes on and on. You got a guy like Dean Marlowe, who's been around the team for three and a half seasons, comes up with 2 picks today. It just, they're deep. They have such depth, and they're able to handle injuries. They're able to handle adversity so well. And it's really, really special to see them be able to pull this off in such fashion. It's the fashion in which they've done it. This isn't old school Bills where it was nickel and diamond, you know, laying and praying, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, just hope for the best. No, this was just domination, you know, just utterly and complete domination from bell to bell. It was just a beatdown. Isaiah McKenzie, a guy who's been there. Allen's thrown to him the longest out of all the receivers, and today he has a career day, 3 touchdowns. I should go live before the game too. I sometimes what happens is I go to the gym and I run home because I'm so nervous. I have to do something physical before the game. I can't sit around and watch pre-games and listen. I'll throw up. So I have to go do something physical and take my mind off of it, all the while my mind is on it. Oh man, that's what Deion Dawkins said. He said, you know, today he kind of said the same thing as we said last week. He said, we're not the same old Bills. We play to kill, which tells me is they're not looking to win by 3. They're looking to win by 33, or they're trying to win by 33. That's more of the point. Nick Wrong is now saying Allen is inconsistent, shows the chart of Allen's. Oh, please. Like, what intern tries to find these stupid stats like that? Like what's stupid? The guy's pathetic. He's a loser. Like, he's just a loser. He's just another talking head on TV that's sucked on the right titties in his life and kissed the right ass, and he's got a place on, I don't know if he's on Fox or ESPN. I don't even watch them shit anymore. Tom, I remember being in Bosnia back in '95. Oh my God. Wow, that was one of Bill Clinton's lovely things, huh? I remember that. Getting in a scuffle because Daniel got in a scuffle. We just would not give up. Some of my friends did not want us to go back in the Super Bowl. Yeah, those 95, 96 seasons, they were like 10-6 seasons, but they just didn't have it. Kelly was injured in 96. His play had gone to shit. Yeah, that was, you know, the team was different. That was tough. How many times do you wake up in the AM saying to yourself, we got Josh fucking Allen? I pinch myself right now saying it, man. He is. He's a cheaper imitation, Eric, a Skip Bayless wannabe. I don't even watch the guy, honestly. I only see the clips Bills fans put up on Twitter of him talking shit. That's the only ones I see. I can't tell you that I've ever watched him on TV. Timothy Patterson, I love the shot of Allen not giving up. On the high five to Williams. And I think Williams was messing with him. He knew he wanted the high five, and he's like, I'm just going to mess with him a little bit. But it was good. Allen is a hell of a lot. Kelly was an asshole, especially early on. So Allen's cut from a different cloth in terms of personality. Not totally 2 different people. Everybody loved Frank Reich. That's why they wanted him to be a star quarterback. He was the nice guy, and Kelly was the dick. But Kelly was way more talented than Frank Reich. There's no doubt about that. So, man, guys, what a season! What a season! I mean, it's the kind of season you never want to end. It's like the season you just want to continue. You just want them to, they're going to play a game next week, and it's a playoff game. Something that for 17 years we couldn't say. We were talking about the end of the season and all the stuff that I alluded to before about who's the quarterback, who's the coach. Man, it's tough being a Bills fan. Yeah, he was, Trevor. He was that much of an asshole. He was. I had a nightmare a couple of nights ago. Well, please don't, Eric. I got sick reading that, dude. Please. I just got sick. At least Colin Cowherd admitted he was wrong week 1. He said we were babysitting on now he thinks he can win a Super Bowl. Yeah. You know what? If he gets endorsements or not, I mean, it doesn't matter. Tom Fitzgerald, my first. Wow, Fergie. Holy shit. Man, so you remember the walking proud or the Bills, the goalposts coming down, the streak of the 70s being broken and all that stuff. It's like, you know, the younger fans can liken it to the Patriots' domination of the Bills is what the Dolphins did to the Bills in the 70s. They just couldn't beat that fucking team. The Dolphins had Super Bowls. They had Hall of Fame players, even though the Bills had one or two Hall of Famers. They didn't have what the Dolphins had in terms of success. I always thought Bob Greasy was fucking overrated. That team, Jim Kick and all those guys, and big white running back whose name is Zonk, that they ran that team. That defense ran that team. I believe the defensive coordinator was it Arnsbarger or something like that. He ended up head coaching the Giants, but he was not good. I remember that. Like, I'm a lot older than I look, but I'm also like a history buff when it comes to the league. So, yeah, it was Arnsbarger. I'm right. I'm going to read some of the comments here. Damager, somehow I think even if we went, dude, I don't care. I just know one thing. If they do, let them try to get a playoff win first, you know, one step at a time. You know, McDermott will keep their head on straight, and hopefully this level of play that we've seen continues into next week. But, man, you know, I just want to take a couple of days to enjoy what we've watched this season and then start thinking about the Colts next week. But it's been that great. It's been really that great. Oh, absolutely, Bunzolo. You start negotiating that contract quick. Eric Moreno this season is like 05-06 Sabres for me. Yeah, I heard that's the season the Sabres were last loved. And, you know, I just kind of caught on to the Sabres late, so I can't pretend to know much about them as much as I've known since they've gotten Eichel and stuff. And I kind of got into them because that was a big deal getting him. So I was like, yeah, this is a good time to, you know, start watching them a little bit. Ryan Clark admitted he was wrong last week, too. You can't keep lying. You know, it's not you're lying to yourself. You're lying to everybody else. You look like an idiot. If you go around lying, it was just like, dude, we watched this guy have an MVP-like season. How, like, what are you talking about, man? Like you're saying he's not good, but the guy is like doing things for a quarterback no other quarterback has done in the league. You know, 4,500 yards, the amount of touchdown passes, the amount of rushing touchdowns. Like, stop it. You look stupid. Tom Fitzgerald, yeah, brother, everything. 20 years in the Army. You lived in Allentown, West Seneca, Southwest New York. Nah, man, never give up, never give in. You know what? That's right. That's just yeah. He might. Is that reported, Eric? I'm not shocked, man. I'm not shocked. But you know what? It's the way they brought back Gain last year after he went to the Texans, and look, like I tweeted out, Daboll's as good as gone, man. Brian Daboll he's going to be a head coach. Most likely, he's going to be the head coach of the Chargers. This team is going to lose front office guys. You know, I heard Malik Boyd was going to get an interview somewhere. Probably it was in Detroit. Eric says Joe Shane might get an interview with Carolina. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Oh, Rappaport. So there you go. Agents telling them. I mean, they're losing people for the right reasons. I remember there was a guy named Ferguson who was the director of player personnel for the Bills under Polian. He he got hired as a Seahawks general manager over the years, after Butler left, and he took all the guys with him, AJ Smith, and there was just a bunch of guys in the front office that left the Bills and went on to be in bigger positions because of all the right reasons. Shit, the guy for the Giants was a Bills scout during that time. So as long as you have the right reasons, as long as you have the three-headed monster, always know that the three-headed monster is what drives the ship. Not to say that those other guys aren't important, because they are. That's what team building is. Yeah, I think he's gone, man. It just like there's no way he's not. He's going to get a head coaching job. Trust me. I mean, I'd love for him to stay another year. I'd love for him fourth year, and we'll see what happens. But I just let's be real. He's going to get an opportunity that he can call his shot. He helped call plays for an MVP candidate, a kid that turned his career from a okay NFL career as a young quarterback to a top 3 quarterback. Name me. You guys will know. Who would you rather have other than Josh Allen right now? People will say Mahomes or Rodgers. Think of that. People can only name 2. Oh, I might take Aaron Rodgers. I might take Patrick Mahomes, but Allen is a top 3 quarterback in this league. A top 3 quarterback with this league. There's no doubt about that. It's a different world, man. Is he a head coach? We don't know, but he's going to get his chance. He's going to get his chance. That's just what's going to happen, man. And that's just the way it works. Ted Marshall-Broda got hired as a much older coach than Dable is now, after he coordinated the Bills' offenses, the no huddles and stuff. Even though Kelly called the plays and stuff, but it's what happens. It's okay. It's just part of the business. What's going to happen when he's on the sideline and he's the CEO of the whole team and all that stuff, we don't know. But you know what? He's done a lot of good stuff with the Bills, so I'm not going to sit there and hate on him. I tweeted it out 2 weeks ago, Tom. J.J. Watt, I think, is a guy who the Bills probably could sign this offseason, and he would join the Bills with open arms for a very, very nominal price. I told you guys to get ready. I told you guys to get ready for a whole new existence as a Bills fan, where that receiver, that really, really good receiver, is just going to come to the Bills for a 1-year deal, where maybe a slightly veteran player like a J.J. Watt, who's, you know what, I just want to come win. I just want to come win. They're going to have to cut him because of money. $17 million due with no dead money. They have no first-round pick. They have a lot of holes to fill. They're not a player away. He's over 30, so I could see that happening 100%. That's where the Bills are. That's the existence that they live in. All those guys you used to see go to the Patriots, maybe they turn into be something. Maybe they don't. But I just think the culture, the way this team is run, the way this team, the type of people, the type of personalities that they want around the team, J.J. Watt, he checks every box. And I think he's still a productive player. Yeah, he had a couple of 9-win seasons, but also he didn't have Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith and Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas and all those guys. That's the that's the beautiful part of this is, Daboll's going to go to a good situation. He's probably going to go to the Chargers, where they have a young quarterback that looks good. I mean, Herbert, he's broke the rookie record for passing yards. He's got great weapons, but again, he's the head coach now. He just doesn't call plays, and he's going to call plays. So it's a different dynamic than being a head coach. You got to hire your staff. You got to run the team day to day. You got to set the travel. You got to set the schedules. You got to do all that different type of stuff. So it's a whole new responsibility across the board. Like your to-do list goes from this to take the size of the wall. And let's give credit. I mean, this is 4 years of Sean McDermott. He's the longest tenured head coach since Marv Levy in terms of he stayed that long. The only other coach that went into a fourth year was Duran. He was fired a little after midseason. Everybody else has either been 2 and done, 1 and done, 3 and done, a lot of 3 and dones. And he's gotten a lot of stink for trust the process and kind of sometimes the cliched coach speak. But man, this guy came in with a vision, a plan. He stuck with it. He was true to it. And all that stuff matters today, because without that stuff, we're not where we're at today. All the little details, all the little nuanced stuff, macro, micro level stuff that a guy like Rex Ryan would never think of or never look at. This team is always generally pretty healthy under McDermott. They haven't been injury riddled. They lose a guy here and there, which is just the nature of the beast when it comes to professional football. But this team is always healthy. They're never really outcoached. They never look outcoached. They never look unprepared. They never look like they look like they have a chance in every game. I mean, a few bounces of the ball in the Titans game, maybe it's a different game. The ball doesn't go off Robert's hands early. He doesn't fumble the kickoff. And then there's just different things that happen during a game like that lead to it being what it was. But man, this team has really grown in front of our eyes. This quarterback has become just a game changer in front of our eyes. Not just a guy that's, oh, he's good. He's on the periphery. We don't know what he is yet. This third year is critical. Oh my God, the fourth year, what's going to happen? No, this guy went in there and took the game by the scruff of the neck and just went ham. I'd have to look at the rookie ratings, but I think he's up there, man. That's an interesting question right now, because Gabe Davis, I mean, there's so many stories, man. You guys, that's why you guys are great. You come into the room and you remind me of so many things. I mean, sometimes I think of these things and I don't write them down. Sometimes I do, and then there's a lot of things you put in there that I just kind of like, they get lost in the shuffle because they're so good. It's like you got a guy like Gabe Davis. Was he a 4th, 5th round pick? It's like, Gabe Davis is nice, but we got Diggs, we got Brown, we got Beasley. So if he just gives us, 20 catches and, a couple of touchdowns, we'll be happy. Nah, this kid, he had like 2 touchdowns called back on penalties, has shown the go up and get it ability, for a guy, 6'2" and a half, he's shown some big boy ability and, today he gets over the top of the safety and it just runs past them. It just, the guy's got like 700, almost 700 yards receiving, 600. I think it's like 700 yards receiving. There's just so many good stories with this team. 7 touchdown receptions. Just the list goes on. I'm going to look to see if where he is, because generally the NFL has stats for rookies. I'm going to see if I can find it. If you guys can find it, go right ahead and find it for me. But you look at Diggs, 1,500 yards receiving. He's going to 8 touchdowns, 20 catches of 20 plus yards, 5 catches of 40 yards, 127 catches, shatters Eric Moll's record. Just shatters it. I'm looking at some of these numbers and they're just baffling. Like I just can't believe it. Some of the stuff that they've done. I think that the NFL updated the statistics. Allen finishes the year with 45 and change, 37 touchdowns. Singletary and Moss provided a nice little 2-head monster. Williams comes in and just, there's the Bills with another little sneaky weapon in there. An angry running back who can, just push the ball, push the chains. I love it. I love it. It was a great class, but Davis wouldn't be Davis without Allen. True. He's got Diggs, he's got Beasley, he's got Brown, he's got a ton of great veterans ahead of him that takes pressure off, but still, man, like that kid's still got to make those catches and still got to get open. and he looks good. He really looks good. I would have never thought that this kid would have a season like this. I mean, I thought he'd have, what I alluded to, like, probably catch a couple of, 20 passes here and there. Maybe he gets like, a couple of touchdowns, if that, but not this. Definitely not this. So, man, it's insane. It's really insane. It's like you get a guy like John Brown, who's been injured most of the year. He had 33 catches, 3 touchdowns. He had one that he should have gotten credit for against the Raiders. You guys remember that one? Caught a long touchdown today. The Bills quietly got 10 touchdowns from their tight ends, which is insane. Like, remember the Bills tight ends? They were just a no-name. You just didn't know who they were, the Bills tight ends. Now you got Croft, Smith, and Knox all caught 3. Liam caught 1 in Miami, as I remember. Just the list goes on. Defensively was, they're just a group of hard workers. They're just a group of workers, period. McKenzie was crazy today, though. He really, Marlowe jumped up in interceptions. This team has 2 pick sixes this year. And let's give credit to a couple of guys, great field position. He really, really, really did. And, on punt returns, kick returns, and McKenzie today really just took over and played just as well. And gave the Bills pretty much that once he returned that, made it 21-3. I was like, this game's over. They're gonna just, who wouldn't, Thomas? Who wouldn't? But those are the good problems to have. When you have a quarterback, you have a great foundation. You got a stud quarterback too. You just don't have a guy like an Andy Dalton or a guy you're hanging out with. You have a guy. I mean, you have a stud. You can pie in the sky it with other positions. You can go take risks. The pick six really killed it. But for me, the way I saw it, once you're up by 18 points against that team with that quarterback, I'm like, this game's over. This kid cannot bring them back from this. It's just something about the game, the way the game was flowing. I was like, they just don't have it. I saw a psychological, I saw just a drain on them. But, looking back at the whole season, the special teams was amazing. They had a couple of turnovers on special teams by Roberts, but he really gave this team, there's a lot of drives, man. He started them near midfield, after midfield. Fucking Bass missed 1 field goal after that Jets game, which was a 61-yarder. Just a kick that at home at the end of a half, and he missed 1 extra point. So after that Jet game, if you go back to that video, after he made that big kick to put them up 8, it's just the way he said, you know what, I got this now. I'm done. I was in my own head, and I just felt in my soul that that's going to change this kid for the better. I was like, that kick to me, his career could have went to going to become a mental midget and turn into Cody Parkey, or he's going to become Jason Tucker right here. 1 of 2 ways. And he went God. My favorite game. Yeah, Dane Jackson just looked. What a tackle he made on Gaskin right after they stopped him. They got the Corey Bojorquez punt down inside the 1. Tua sneaks it for like a yard, and then Gaskin almost got caught for a safety by Dane Jackson. But if Jackson does not tackle him, he gets like an easy 8, maybe changes that drive. And then you have, he was in on a bunch of pass breakups today. He was really hitting. He hits hard. Like, that kid is not afraid to tackle people. That kid is a physical corner. He's not big, but he's physical. But he's not small either, but he's very, very physical. But it's so nice to have a young corner like that. Pressure. He's got a bunch of veterans ahead of him, but he can play. He's not just, if you guys remember this name, maybe a lot of you do. I think you do. Justin Rogers. When that guy was in the game, it's like, oh shit. Like, he's Justin Rogers. He's going to get torched, which he did. And he turned into a mental midget, could never play again. My favorite game, probably, it's they've all been so great, man. But finally curb stomping the Patriots in Foxborough to, just cement your place as the new placeholder in the division. You have the quarterback now. You have the hammer, and you can swing it viciously to beat that team, 38-9, and in their house after all the shit that the Bills have gone through, all the hell against that franchise. That was just great. That to me was just, that felt so good. That was the one that just did it for me. Yeah, man, the depth, Thomas, the depth, how competitive these guys are, and that's from McDermott. That all comes from McDermott. They don't let guys on this team, and they don't mess around. Like look at the Quentin Spain situation. The Bills weren't fucking around. They were like, okay, if you don't want to do what's best, we'll just cut you. Even though we signed you, we'll cut you. They played Brian Winters. They got to a point where Feliciano got back, Cody went down, and Bucker, they've had him there. Bucker's been there since 17. They released him once. Well, they cut him during the cut down to 53, brought him right back. And look at Ike Bucker, looks like a really good player. And I don't notice him on the offensive line. When you don't notice your offensive line, that's a great thing. And this team pass blocking is just great. Oh man, that's the Tom, that'll never get old, dude. You know what makes me sick? My last point of the video, how coaches will go on and on about special teams, the importance of it, and a guy like him's not in the Hall of Fame. How do you have the best player who did the thing that coaches harp about, that's the most important, but he's not in the Hall of Fame? You have the greatest coach arguably to ever coach, but I think his quarterback, it was because of the great, Belichick. He started on special teams with the Detroit Lions. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach, won a Super Bowl. Like, how do you not have the best player to do everything, to be the best gunner, the best cover guy? I don't get it. Like, it's just, Eric, that's the thing. It's like, there's so many guys, man. There's just so many guys you can look at. Like Saran Neal, great special teams player, phenomenal coverage. I mean, he comes in on defense. You don't notice him, just fits right in and plays at a high level. You don't miss a beat, and let's be real. A lot of those friends and family yards that the Dolphins got at the end is because the Bills backed up, played a soft zone, and said, here, we're going to exchange yards for time. It wasn't because the Dolphins were doing anything special. It's because the Bills let them. That's the fun part about it. It's when you're letting a team get those nickel and dime yards, that's fun. When you're getting yards and a team is trying to stop you, like against the 49ers, that's even better. Like somebody put the 49ers game was a real, wow, Allen's it. And then you had the Denver game and then the Pittsburgh. What a great, this last block of weeks for Bills fans, I'll be honest with you, has been the most enjoyable I've ever had as a Bills fan. And I love the fact that technology has let me share it with other Bills fans. It's great. Hopefully, man, Thomas, hopefully. What happened? Yeah, Marlowe would be a starter if he didn't play for the Bills. Yeah, Marlowe, like their depth is just so strong. It's crazy. And they just they found Jackson. They had Marlowe. They just have guys that they can just roll them through, play those sub packages. I mean, look at the linebacker situation. We forget about, because I just even forget the names, is because Milano's back. AJ Klein, wow, he was having a great season after the rough little start. He was great. And then, Klein is kind of taking a back seat and just playing behind Milano again. That's how deep they are, man. Every player on this team, there's going to be a guy just comes out, makes a play. It's like, oh shit, that guy, remember him? Man, this is a fun time to be a Bills fans, guys. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. What a great 2020. Hopefully, let's do it next week, man. Let's have a great a great video next week. Let's finish this season the right way. Looks like Tennessee's going to get into the playoffs. They're up 24-9 against Houston. The Jags are losing to Indy 20 to, and that's, that's a home game. The Bills, will be the favorite, and let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. That'd be 10 winning, 14-2. It's just a shame there's no fans there to enjoy it, man. There's gonna be fans next week, so hopefully, they get treated to something beautiful, something special. It's just a continuation of what we've seen, and hopefully this Bills team. And I don't hope. I know that Allen, so a lot of the guys have that bad taste in their mouth from last year, and I want to see them come out and make a statement next week and get that taste out of all of our mouths, including theirs. Yeah, man. Hopefully. I just get so nervous during the games. I almost get sick. Like, I just have to sit here and watch. I'm really, really quiet. I don't even make a peep. Like, once I know the game is sealed, and if the Bills do something good, I'll scream and yell. But after that, I'm just kind of just like, I kind of just like keep it all. Like, I'm just sitting there just like shit. I'm like fucking shaking almost. They turned me into a little girl. Swear. The thing that turns us all into little boys. Again. Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Thank you, Tom. Damn it. All you guys are Timothy, Eric, Hussein, Bonzolo, Matt, all you guys. Man, there's so many guys that come into this room. Utz, and the list goes on and on. Thomas, Trevor. I can just read back Bowman and just keep going and going and going. Like, I have to write Chris. I have to write them down so I know who to thank. But man, we watched phenomenal season like no other, and hopefully it's just the start of many, many more to come, because the Bills have raised the bar, and this is it. This is who we are now. We're not an also rant. We're not the little sisters of the poor. We're not all this cute little engine that could anymore. Nah. Remember, there's a Sports Illustrated cover after the Bills beat the shit out of the Raiders, and it said "Big Bad Bills." That's who we are again. That's who we are again. Enjoy it, Bills fans. You deserve it. Sit back with your nicest, finest drink, your nicest, finest steak or cigar, and just lean back and enjoy it. You deserve it. We deserve it. Go Bills, baby. Playoffs next week.